Thank you for joining us. I know it's been a little bit of time, so we are going to introduce ourselves, starting with Honey and Dice.
Hello, darlings! I'm Honey, aka Honey and Dice, and I play Princess Lalani Savor, the Gnome Ranger.
And Zan. Oh, you're muted, hon.
Hi, I'm Zan Larson. I am also Pale White Rabbit on Twitter, and I am an artist, and I am playing Yrsa, the Stormherald Barbarian.
Margaret May.
Unmuted. Hi, I'm Margaret. I am Margaret Maynard on Twitter and Instagram, which are the socials I hang out on, and I will be playing Irie, a creepy tentacle warlock person.
And you might have noticed we have a guest star today. So, Riley, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you're playing.
Hi, my name is Riley. I'm at Riley Gritch, Gryc, on Twitter, which is where I waste most of my life. And I am playing Sophie Platchek, who is a rat detective. A mouse detective. A great mouse detective.
Awesome. I love it. All right, so where we last left off, y'all were just about to get started. You had just actually left and were climbing. You saw a mountain in the distance. Those of you in chat may have noticed that Macaulay, Layla, and Mama Sakara are missing. Macaulay might be joining us later when Riley has to make a quick exit. So, with your friends off on a side quest somewhere, you look across into the mountains and see the snow on the horizon.
Well, I feel, for one, I'm feeling far more comfortable with the direction we're going.
Lalani has a new outfit because it's going to be cold outside. So she's all ready with her, white furs and her pink leather and her pearl accessories. In addition to her quiver, she now carries her makeup kit right, on her hip and on a leather strap. And Lord Silky is not having a good time with the idea of this, okay? So he is wearing a sweater. And it is, a dark blue and green sweater, and it has, Mommy's Best Boy, on the back of it. And if you've never seen an albino alligator in a sweater, now everyone has.
An albino alligator in a snowstorm.
Is it a white sweater? Or is it like a Christmas sweater?
It's like a Christmas sweater.
Yeah.
But it's good.
It's so we can see him in the snow.
Yeah, it's like a blue.
Stealth is way too high otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Irie pulls on a little cloak, big ol' impractical hood. Yeah, blue. Because, why not match everything? So yeah. You probably see a little bit of the magenta-y, reddy, hair-like substance coming out from under that hood, but yeah, she's oddly comfortable. This is the unknown, and who doesn't want to go into the unknown? Am I right? But yeah.
Yeah, I will say Yrsa has a fur-lined cloak, but that's about it. So even though she does have some bare skin showing, it doesn't seem to bother her at all.
All right. So you set off. The sun is high. And you've been given a general direction, though not really anything beyond that. You don't have a map. But as you kind of walk off, you start to feel a light snowfall. And you come to an outpost where you see quite a lot of teeny tiny tracks around it. Like, not animal size, but smaller than, human-sized. And it appears to be very well set up. Like, this is not a slapdash little hovel. There's some gadgets and gizmos on the roof and all sorts of, like, steampunky type things going on.
Irie's wandering around kind of delighted by snow.
She's never seen it before.
Well, she saw it before once.
Right.
Once. By description. But the idea that it's all around you is in some ways comforting and in some ways deeply unsettling, but pretty great, and she's excited. And is mostly just like a Hallmark movie, sort of staring at the snow.
Lalani is going to do all of this bread that we have, too much bread. And with the basket, it's putting a croissant, a couple of muffins in the basket. And she's just going to head towards the hovel. We have too much bread. Maybe we can share it. Just tiny little gnome running towards.
Maybe we can trade for some information.
Oh, okay. Can somebody hand me 2 of the scones from there? We may need some scones if we get the information.
Yeah, Irsa is just like looking through this bag of bread, just going,
Bread sack.
bread sack.
Oh no.
This is too much bread.
For those of you who don't remember last episode, they had trouble translating an Infernal cookbook. And all they did was make about 100 pounds of bread.
Which again is something Aerie has never really experienced before. So this is super cool. And like, if you're looking for scones, Mage Hand just gonna start sorting through breads, and they'll like float up and then go back down. It's like, is this a scone?
Yeah, it's like, is this a scone? Is this a scone? And you're such
this
a
nice brioche scone? How about this baguette?
No, that's brioche. That's focaccia. That's
never seen before.
That's biscuits. They look like cornbread.
Lalani is just like, give me the hard bread. It's the hard one with the berries in it. It's hard. I'm kind of
Thank
like,
you.
Yes.
I'll look for that. Should I roll an investigation check for bread?
Please do.
Excellent. That's a great first roll of the night. Good deal. Let me find a d20. That's a great first roll of the night. Investigation. Oh, I do get to add something to that. Nice. 7.
Okay. You pull out some focaccia and waffles. So
And it's kind of like,
while you are in your little snow shelter, you hear a lot of crunching snow and discussions about bread.
Is this me?
Yeah. While you're in your snow shelter, you are hearing a lot of discussion. Because I assume you have some sort of traps, or plus your passive perception is like the highest I've ever seen. So,
Yeah, that's very true. I'm going to, I guess, walk out because I'm curious about all the bread talk, and I'll approach them.
And Irsa at that point is just like, no, remember I said this one was focaccia. She's asking for the scones.
yes.
You know what?
Bits of
It's
herbs,
okay.
not berries.
It's okay. It's okay.
So the leaves and the berries are different. Okay.
We can just do the waffles and the focaccia. I am sure in the snow, they might want it.
Excuse me. Will come a very tiny mouse voice. Are you having problems with bread?
Lalani does a double take because for a moment she thinks her mom has come on her trip. Because it's like maybe so. She's like, oh my goodness. We were actually trying to. Is this your house?
Oh, yes, it is quite. This is Baker Street by sheer happenstance, so you're in the right place to take care of bread.
Oh, wonderful. Oh my goodness, darling, you are so gorgeous. How do you keep your fur so nice in the weather? It is cold.
Well, it's rather, a regimen of preening and making sure everything's proper.
Alrighty then. Well, we were going to make you a gift basket, of all of this bread.
Me?
Yes.
You were going to make me a... By Jove, I'm not sure who you are, but that's lovely. That's perfectly lovely of you to do.
And she looks over to Silky, and then she also looks to the other people, and she's like, okay, I am Princess Lalani Savour. And that last name might be familiar because her parents are actually, like, mouse folk nobility.
Can I roll history?
Sure.
Ding dang. That's going to be a 23.
Yeah, you super know these folk.
Oh! And she sort of does a half bow, half curtsy and says, Miss Savour, very pleasurable to meet you.
Oh, you don't have to do that because you know how we are back in the swamp. It's about hospitality. It's about equality.
Very true. What brings you and your compatriots out this far?
Oh, child, it is such a story. But this is Lord Silky, and she points to an albino alligator wearing a sweater. This one over there is Queen Ursa. She points to Ursa. And that's
bow curtsy.
That is Eri, who's also got some little bit of nobility of her too.
But Eri is halfway inside the bag of bread. Like, still rummaging for scones. But can sort of hear it, so she starts to back out when she hears her name.
She's a little unfamiliar with the different kinds of bread being from an underwater society.
She'll stand up, actually, having extricated herself from the bread bag. Ariel Atlantianath, Princess of the Seas Beyond the Sun, heiress to the Shimmering Reef Lands. Pleasure.
Yes,
dusts crumbs off the cloak.
Can I roll a history on that one?
Sure.
That's going to be a 20.
Yeah, you know her.
Holy crap. Yeah.
I'm very pleased to meet all of you. All such lovely nobility out here in the snow. Well, do come in. If you don't mind, I've got tea and crumpets on.
We've probably got some crumpets in there too.
Well, by Jove, I should say you might.
And she's gonna say, okay, and she's just gonna go up. And Lalani, tiny, but she's still going to grab random bread, put it in the basket, and head in,
It's like, I'm wondering if Yrsa's going to have a little bit of trouble getting into this little snow shelter.
Yes, you are quite tall. I can set something up outside if it's all the same to you.
Oh, that would be quite lovely, thank you.
She's going to immediately busy herself with bringing out a very small table and the biggest chair she has, which is a couch, like dragging it out.
Alani is going to help, and Lord Silky is also going to help.
And then she's going to put a kettle on and begin serving crumpets.
Yrsa will just stay by the door and listen in on the conversation, but we'll keep watch because this seems like a good place to be.
So, if you don't mind my being rather inquisitive, what brings you to this area?
Oh, Faye asked us to go find some baby dragons, and we had to fight some pirates, and we had to go help rescue some kids, and then go to this castle that was full of imps and creepy stuff, and give this lady that I'd never met before a baby dragon. And now we're going to go find another one, because apparently there's orphan baby dragons.
Orphan baby dragons?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds curious. Would Sophie have heard anything about baby dragons in the area being orphaned or anything like that?
Give me... A history check with advantage.
Hell yeah. It's 19, both.
You know that someone that you have had a run-in with in your past, the Rat King, has been desperate to get his paws on a baby dragon. And rumor has it that he may or may not have found one.
Well, it's funny and curious that you should mention baby dragons, because this is a terrible fellow in the region who's been trying to get his paws on one for the longest time. And I think he might have succeeded more recently. Oh, there's your cup. And then she just keeps pouring tea for everybody.
Milani is having a hard time because she wants to get up and help so badly, and she's just kind of...
No, take a load off. You've come through the snow, my darlings. Goodness gracious.
Oh my goodness. Is this how I am all the time?
Very like how you
I
are.
wouldn't know.
It's lovely.
But from what I've seen, I would hope so.
Oh, darling, you've heard, and she says, you know, my people, we have the Rangers. You're familiar with the Rescue
Certainly,
Rangers.
certainly.
So I also had heard some things about dragons before this group of people found me. I was actually taking Lord Silky on a date, and it turns out that the crocodile he was in love with was actually a very horrible woman who was married to a very horrible woman who was captain of a very horrible ship. But
Well, that sounds quite horrible overall.
yes, it was awful, darling, and she takes a sip of tea. But now we have to go find this dragon, and that's what we were doing. Eri, do not touch that. Do you have stuff in your house that explodes?
Oh, quite a lot of it, actually.
Okay, Eri,
Yes.
don't touch that, please.
Well, you can touch it. I'm somewhat curious as to
What
the
am I
reaction.
near?
Oh, you're probably near this gigantic alchemical set that has, like, moistures and vapors going up and down it. It's like half Rube Goldberg machine, half potential time bomb. And she's like, yes, I
Just
have
like me. Sorry. Oh, that's magical. I mean, it might be. I don't know. Is it magical?
Do you have any sort of disposable... Let me have a little bit of the bread, actually. Is it magic bread?
Oh, child, they have no idea. We read from a giant book, and then it popped out. So maybe.
High probability. And she's going to sort of sweep over and grab some of the bread, if you don't mind.
Oh, maybe you want to do the muffin and not the focaccia, because there
The
might
muffin,
be more
yes,
air.
of course,
in that
of course. And she just sort of crumbles it up, smashes it with a pestle, and then puts it in one end of this machine, and then it just starts bubbling and, like, aerating, and the thing starts spinning and gyrating, and it comes out the end. She takes a sip of the now liquefied muffin. Totally mundane.
I imagine Ears at this point kind of like peeked in through a window or something and saw this, or is just hearing this happen.
It's making noise, yeah. Little pops and fizzes.
Ears is kind of
Wonderful.
glad that she's outside at the moment.
It shouldn't be harmful. The bread should be fine for consumption.
Well, I hope so, because this is pretty much all we have. We have some large pieces of meat, and meat does not really agree with my,
No, I must say I'm of a similar disposition.
So it's just bread.
It's just bread.
Just bread.
Just bread.
Yes.
Yes, quite.
The woman had a whole castle, an entire kitchen, and all we could get is bread.
Just bread.
Yes, he just
Well-
was very inhospitable.
Well, I should say so. She should at least have had some beverages.
I know, right?
Or some cheeses. A nice charcuterie.
Seriously, I mean,
I'm in full agreement with you.
oh, you're such a delightful person.
Well, it's so
Oh.
nice and lovely having somebody from the Savoys here, I must say.
Meanwhile, Ears is outside just going, oh my, another one.
Irie's changing the temperature of her tea to like hot and cold to see how it tastes at different temperatures with prestidigitation, but just like now it's frozen, and she licks it like a popsicle. Like you know, she's amusing herself in the corner.
Sure.
Indeed. Can you tell us more about? Well, obviously, I would not. There are some people who are like, you can help us out, and they'll tell people we help you out. But who wants to get paid in exposure? You know what I mean?
Truly, I understand.
Is there something we can do to compensate you for the information you might have?
Jess, is there anything that they can do to compensate for the information that I might have?
Well, what would you like?
Well, there's a bit of a caper I could help using people solve.
Okay.
I've had a recent disappearing person. It's been a bit of a bother for me, and typically I'm quite spot on about these sorts of things, but I've been at a bit of a dead end. So, I mean, if you're in the mood to assist, I would be more than welcome for any assistance you can provide.
It's not your father again, is it?
It is my father again.
Oh, no!
Well, we happen to be very good at adventures. I mean, we only... She looks at Aaron for a moment. I mean, there was the one incident where we burnt up an entire island, but...
It was a bad island.
The island itself was evil, like sentient.
Was it?
The trees were attacking us.
Well, it sounds like
trees
a very...
can burn.
The trees can burn. That's science. It's elementary.
But that's not what we wanted to do. But I'm just saying, we are very good at solving problems creatively.
Certainly. Well, if you're in the helping mood, then I suppose we should get to it, if that's all right with you.
She's going to give 1 moment, please. Ursa,
Yes?
do you want to help this delightful person find somebody? In exchange for information about, something that might help us with the baby dragon.
Oh. Yes, I see no reason why not.
Okay, give me your teacup so I can get you some more tea. She walks back in. Alright. Ursa is in. Eri, do you want to help this delightful person?
Why are you looking for this person? She's just gonna reference that
Of
Lilani
course.
is talking to her. She's not being rude here overtly, but very directly asking.
Well, it's my father, you see. He has somewhat of an emotional attachment to me, if I'm being quite candid and frank. He's gotten a little addled in his old age, and he tends to get lost. All of his thoughts are with his tinkering, and sometimes they take him away, sometimes he takes them away. It's all rather... Well, I don't think he's in trouble, but I really can't be certain. So it would be nice to have some company to help make sure it's not the former, and that it's the latter, if that makes sense.
That
Do you have
makes
a father?
lots of sense. She's gonna pause, be very serious. I do.
Oh. Well, all right then. Yeah. It makes mine's a little bit... He's caring, but in a distant sort of way. I don't know if yours is like that.
Well, he's very distant now. But perhaps we can close the distance with yours.
Spot on. I would not mind the help and assistance. Shall we finish with tea and crumpets, then?
Of course. And do you have somewhere where I can... I'm going to take a minute and kind of powder my cheeks a little bit.
Oh, certainly. Certainly, it's right over there.
So, let me see if I can do this. She's going to take her makeup bag. And she's going to also ask if she can have, go to the little fire and get, a couple of coals. And she's going to go in there. And Jess,
Yeah.
she is going to take some time. It's going to take her quite a bit of time. And she says she's powdering her nose and she brings, a whole new outfit. But she is actually taking time to find familiar.
Oh. Okay.
And she is, when she comes out of the space, she has this effervescent dragonfly about the size of a dinner plate. And she's like, oh my goodness, it has taken forever, but everybody, I wanted Lord Silky to have company. This is Evan Rude. He is very, very friendly.
He's very effervescent.
Oh yes, he's very proud of how effervescent he is.
He's beautiful. Hello.
He just buzzes around. Lord Silky perks up a little bit. Okay, well, I have done what I need to do.
Yeah, it's like I think Ursa probably didn't see this at this point.
She's going to send Evie, that's what we're going to call her, out to Ursa to buzz around and look around. We have to find somebody, and Evie is very good at looking ahead.
Well, then, let's hop to it then.
All
Okay,
right.
would you like to ride on Lord Silky?
Oh, I have my own mount. Toby! And she whistles.
And with
And-
that chat, we will be right back because we just got word that CB is here. So give us just
Yay.
a second. We'll be right back with CB and
Whee!
Toby. All right. Hang tight.
There's